Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, maybe I should go to culinary school. And then I went to CIA. And at that point, I think I was like 20.
Yeah.
And and got out of culinary school, went to Italy, worked out there, came back, and ended up working for Vitali. Not literally him, but his company. So I guess that's how I started watching TV.
Yeah,
it's basically kind of like my life now. It's just watching TV.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, and then the industry took me. Like New York City, like that whole thing, like that just took me.
So you moved there first to go work?
I worked in Italy. Like I've always like worked in restaurants, but like I went to work at a Michelin star restaurant in Italy, and
what's it called?
The restaurant is Osteria to Passignano, and it's in outside of Florence. It's on the property for Antinori wines, like Tianello. They have their own wine. It's like one of the older monasteries in that area that like started growing grapes out in Italy, in that region.
Yeah.
And then I came back and I ended up wanting to do front of the house at Oriole because I was really into wine after that, and I didn't think I could hack it in New York City because I was afraid.
Got you.
I was actually like super afraid of like being a cook in New York City at the time, so I tried to go to front of house.
Yeah.
And then I was like a busser, back waiter, or whatever, and I dumped coffee on a tire table in a person and got chewed out by my captain, and realized that I just couldn't fucking do it when you're 6'4" ogre, like bending over on a table trying to pour coffee in a saucer like a fucking idiot. Like, just was not me. You know? It was just not me. And so I went back into, my buddy was in the kitchen there. And so I ended up getting a job. I ended up going to Babbo trying to get a job, and they wouldn't even fucking talk to me.
Yeah.
Till later, and then I worked for the company down the road. But
gotcha. Well, when you were in Italy, how long did you work at that restaurant?
6 months.
6 months. And was it like a set internship?
Yeah, it was a set internship.
How did you get that? How did you...
Through CIA.
Okay. So you went to the CIA.
I went to the CIA. I got hooked up with the internship. I tried to stay there longer.
Yeah.
But I ended up going back. But it was a fucking blast, man. It was a little bit like... I learned to speak Italian when I was out there.
Yeah.
They could speak fluent English, but during service, it was all in Italian. And so I actually, like, started down at, like, the end, like, the low when you get there. But I was just, like, that, like, super eager, like, friendly, hardworking person where, you know... I mean, they put me up in, like, in a room in one of the apartments that they had.
Yeah.
And, like, picked me up every day and, like, took care of me like family. And then, you know, I'd fill up everyone's olive oil bottles, put, you know, folded towels on their station. And then I ended up getting to work, like, on the, like, you know, secondi entree station as, like, the commis. And it was pretty great. Like, learning that the chef on the station was actually Japanese, and so he couldn't even speak English. He just spoke like broken English, and you could talk to me, like talk about the Matrix to me, and that was basically all he could do. And his name was Yuki, and he like taught me so much about like cooking and focus and drive, and like the idea of perfection is like pretty typical, like,
yeah,
you know, and that was like such a great from procurement of seasonality and vegetables and butchery and just seeing like real world restaurants, like
Yeah.
a different look.
That's dope.
Not necessarily like nothing coming off of like a giant truck,
Yeah.
you know.
Gotcha. Which you've already seen because you were, young in the industry.
Yeah.
So you move back, you go to Orioles in front of the house, you give someone third-degree burns with coffee, and
Yeah.
and then you move to the kitchen.
Yeah.
And how long did you stay there?
Till now. I mean, being in the kitchen.
No, well, I'm saying like at that restaurant.
Oh, I didn't work in the kitchen there. I
Okay.
ended up going to work for Ann Burrell, surprisingly, before she was Ann Burrell, at a restaurant down the street from Bobo. At a place called Centro Vinoteca, which the food was actually really good, and she isn't actually a talented chef. She's just, she got caught in the fame and the television thing and that success, and I think things changed. But yeah, she was super hard in the kitchen. Like, she was really tough.
Yeah.
She was really tough on me, for sure. But I learned a lot.
Yeah. Heard that. And how long did you stay there?
A year.
A year. Okay.
And then I went to go work for Batali's new restaurant out in Westchester.
What made you want to leave what made you want to switch jobs?
It was more about living in the city and cooking. Because I found myself as like, working all day, going out all night, getting into drugs.
Yeah.
I found myself doing, when you're setting up brunch for the restaurant, like they put me in almost like a sous chef position, but they wouldn't give me the title. And when you're doing blow in the bathroom just to get things set up for brunch, like that's a time to kind of change your at least for me, it's changed my attitude and where I was. So I wanted to go work for Batali or in that restaurant group, and so they were opening up something in Westchester, and so I was I'll just take a break.
That's Connecticut, no? Is that Connecticut or New York?
New York. It's actually like where the restaurant was right on the border of Greenwich.
Okay, so what's it called?
Terry Lodge. The restaurant?
Yeah.
Terry Lodge.
Did you work with I went to the Terry Lodge, I believe. My buddy worked there who worked at this place called Sartorius Empatico in Jamestown. What the fuck is his name? He's gonna kill me. So Andrew Marsilio is who I'm talking about, and you did not work with him.
Okay. No, he was after my time.
Yeah. So you opened that place?
Yep.
Got you. Your first time opening over a restaurant?
No, I actually have been a part of opening restaurants surprisingly a lot, like when I was younger.
Got you.
Just because New Hampshire is, so it was it was still growing,
Yeah.
Opened that restaurant. Italy was the first time I actually worked more than, you could really ever understand until now. The past, 10 years of working, in this industry, 6 years, the higher caliber restaurant or the more you take in, the more you end up pushing yourself. But Italy was the first time that I probably worked a minimum of a 60-hour work week, which is to start that point, it becomes a lot, and then you just kind of continue to grow the amount of hours, hours. But that was the first time it really pushed me even more. The restaurant was open all day. I worked the grill station, so it was all the butchery, and then I was the tournant. And then I became sous chef there, and then I got burnt out.
Yeah.
I got overworked. I didn't know how to handle it. This is when you could like scream at people in the kitchen, and I lost it one day.
Yeah.
You know?
Gotcha.
I grabbed a cook and threw him out of the fucking restaurant.
Yeah.
At 25? 23?
You were 25?
I was 23.
How old was he?
Maybe 26.
Gotcha.
I had a young complex, and all the older people didn't treat me all the time with respect. So I felt like I had to yell more. And my chef used to tell me to yell. Like, he's like, fucking yell. And I'm like, no, I can't yell at people. And like, he broke that out of me.
Yeah. Gotcha. So he created a monster.
Basically, at the time.
Yeah.
You know, when you're, intimidated and immature, as you're learning how to be a manager for the first time, like, you make all the mistakes. Yeah. And that's the point, to learn.
Have you ever talked to the person you threw out after that?
No, I tried to, but I ended up getting fired because of it. Because it's a big company, you know?
For sure.
But the guy was a fucking asshole. Like, he really was. And he was, like, always hungover. And, we're doing, 400 covers in a night. It's a 180-seat Italian restaurant. And he's working the pasta station. Like, you can't just like drag ass. Like, this is why people come here. Like, and so I've kind of like, I was changing that like mentality of like getting fucked up and like going out every night to like really focus on the craft. Yeah. So I got lost in it.
Gotcha. So after that happens, you get fired, and then what's your next move? Where are you at mentally?
Oh, I was super depressed. Yeah. Like, I was still cool with my chef. Like, it was like he didn't want to do it. Like, he was told to do it. Yeah. And I'm still friends with him. Like, I still talk to him. Like, I cooked his, like, 50th birthday party that summer, like, right after. Like, there was never a grudge. Like, I still talk to him. When I was in the city last, I saw him. Yeah. Like, he's still my mentor.
Gotcha.
Good and bad.
Yeah.
And then I ended up going to work at Italy. Okay. So I just didn't get fired from the company. I just got fired from that restaurant. And so I went to Del Posto to go work there, but I was so overloaded with how big the kitchen was and the brigade there, and like I got lost going to the bathroom. On my stage and stuff. And like the chefs there were like super great to me because I was already coming from another restaurant and I knew the chef prior, Mark Ladner, and then I ended up opening Italy because I thought that would be really cool, and I was going to go, and I worked at the fish restaurant. Yeah. Opened that, which was like fucking in New York, which was insane.
Italy's crazy.
And I was so uncomfortable.
He doesn't own it anymore, does he?
Vitali?
Yeah.
I don't think he has anything anymore. But I could be wrong.
They took everything.
I think he had no choice. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he got a huge settlement out of it.
Yeah.
But like,
I hope not. Shit.
I'm sure they had to.
Yeah.
I'm sure there were so many contracts. Yeah. He's smart. His wife is the heir to Coach Farm. Coach Bags and Coach Farm Goat Cheese and like...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Wait, Coach Bags?
Like Coach.
The Coach...
Yeah, they own a Coach. Yeah.
Where?
A farm in I think it's in like New York. Upstate New York. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Huh. Who would have known? Wait. Do they make their purses out of goats?
Maybe.
That sounds really bad, doesn't it?
That's weird.
They make their purses out of goats.
They tell you it's leather, but it's just goat. Yeah, it's goat skin.
It's goat skin.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, so I did Italy.
You opened Italy. How was that opening? Going up and down the stairs how many fucking times a day?
Way too many.
Yeah, exactly.
The restaurant wasn't bad. Like, working in the restaurant wasn't bad because it wasn't a huge restaurant.